My husband was very apprehensive about telling his story publicly. There's a lot of negative connotation with the alcohol. Many doctors and families and friends, they immediately assume that the person is a closet drinker. They're just a closet alcoholic. The caretaker, the wife, the girlfriend, the mother. We're all a bunch of dummies and we don't know what's going on, right? That wasn't our case. What we learned through this experience is this is not rare. This is rarely diagnosed. My husband was hospitalized 38 times, and not once did anyone take a blood draw to test his blood alcohol level. All the signs were there, but the documentation wasn't out there yet. No one imagined that his body was taking these carbohydrates and converting them to alcohol at really high levels. It's not unusual for someone with this disease to reach a point of 0.40 or 0.50. And that's not the danger. The danger is when it drops. And now the person is in alcohol withdrawal. That's the danger. My husband decided after he met a 21-year-old girl who had this, that he needed to tell the story. He no longer wanted to hide and be embarrassed about what people might think. So he and I went public and we told our story, and we would visit people who would come to the hospital in Staten Island to visit other people. And we were very active in our Facebook support group with the other members that were joining. Others in our group went public also, and they told their story, and we were just another story that was out there. From all the stories that were getting out into the public, more and more people were starting to realize they didn't have a neurological disorder. They didn't have a seizure disorder. They didn't act drunk because they were diabetic. They realized that they had an imbalance of their microbiome, and they went out and bought a breath alcohol meter and tested themselves after eating a high carb meal and found that their body was also making alcohol. But the doctors that know about this are far and few between, and we're hoping by telling our story that more will learn about this, more will treat openly, and if a doctor in the emergency room gets someone who swears up and down they weren't drinking, that they may consider auto-brewery syndrome might be something that they need to consider. It's not something they could treat, but it's certainly something that they need to read up on.
For more information, case studies, and to make a donation, go to www.autobrewery.info.